and welcome to episode 18 of Book Talk with CB and Sam. Today we are discussing Volume 4 of Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation by MXTX. If you missed our previous ones, they are linked down below on both of our channels. And cover the first half, over half, 2/3 of the story. But today we are back at it again. Hello, Storm. To discuss not the finale, unlike what I thought. I thought this was the end, but discuss the nearing the finale of the story.
The penultimate book.
Yeah. Girl. This we have now reached the point where I don't know if I do know, I hadn't read probably the later third to one half of this book. I knew some of what happened, but not how things went down, or I just fully didn't know what happened. So this was a fun experience for both of us, or I assume.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
yes.
So, do you want to explain Book Talks?
Yes. So with my one eyebrow. Hi. So Book Talk is our twice a month book discussion where the first part of the month, as of recording this, the first book of the month is CB's pick and the second book of the month is my pick. The only rule is that whoever is picking the book has to really enjoy the book, so the book always has somebody on its side. This is our way of getting each other to read books that we want to share with each other and talk about, and see if anybody else has read them.
This is my book pick. As most of the gay Chinese novels are. All of them so far, but don't say forever. And this picks up for short. There's going to be spoilers, but I'm not going to put up the spoiler tag because it's a book 4 and it should be implied. So SparkNote's version of what happened in the previous books, Wei Wuxian has come back after 13 years of being dead, and him and his love interest Lan Wenzhi are hunting down a series of mysteries in the cultivation world with people doing dastardly deeds. And they've uncovered that it was a war hero. And so this book picks up, and we get to... Wow, we have a chat. There was nothing in the chat, and then there was a lot. This one picks up when we are well, actually, no, I think we start in the past. It's post-Sunshot campaign. I'm going to grab my book. Just to, glance down. All right, so we're post-Sunshot campaign. And we have Wei Wuxian has been asked by Wen Qing to go, and that her brother Wen Ning, both of which helped Wei Wuxian and his adopted brother Jing Cheng to survive when their home was burning down, or not burning down, but was slaughtered. But now they, because they're on the losing side of the war, are being treated poorly by the winners, even though they weren't bad people, or they weren't the perpetrators, mostly. And so they go to the Jin, work camps, basically, and Wei Wuxian finds that Wen Ning has been killed, and that the people in these work camps, some of them are cultivators, but the vast majority are non-warriors. There's a 1 or 2 year old. There's fully a baby there. And there's like an old woman, and it's just these are innocent people that had nothing to do with the cultivators' war, and yet they're being punished just because of their last name being Wen. Wei Wuxian kills some of the overseers who had killed Wen Ning and takes everyone and goes to the burial mounds, which is like a place rife with resentful energy, which is the kind of energy that Wei Wuxian uses to cultivate, which is seen badly by the vast majority of actually all of the cultivation world at this point. Everyone that speaks at least. Everyone's freaking out about this because they think he's gonna like rise up a war and or an army and become the next big bad and subject them all and make them all learn his evil cultivation. It's a bunch of fear mongering. Both Lamaji and Jing Cheng go to check in on Wei Wuxian, but Jing Cheng is the young sect leader of his sect, and Wei Wuxian and Jing Cheng decide to fake a falling out so that Wei Wuxian's actions don't reflect poorly on the Jing sect. And then he cuts ties, basically. They can't really communicate. And then Lawanji is like, please come back to Gusu with me. I'm concerned. This can't, please have a different option. But then they're both like, yeah, we understand that there isn't really another option to do the right thing, which is protecting the Wens. We get a really cute scene with the three of them being a family with my baby boy, Ayun, who you're supposed to believe is dead in present day. Ends up so the Wen remnants in the burial mounds end up kind of building a little town as best they can, and Jing Yanli, which is Wei Wuxian's adopted sister, or practically adopted sister, his Shiji, she's getting married, but he can't go to the wedding because of the tension in the cultivation world, but they still make a point to she makes a point to show him the wedding dress. You can see me on the day I'm married, or what I'm gonna wear. And then everything goes to shit when Jinling, which is the nephew of the book, everyone's his uncle, at his 1 month celebration. I don't think they did it. It's not 100 days, but it is.
No, I think it's only 1 month because I think they reference also coming to the 100 days next.
Okay, because there was a 1 week, and people were talking about how in a few days that Wei Wuxian was invited, personally by Yan Li's husband, which is the peacock, who was
He's matured.
Annoying. He was an annoying teenager, but he matures right in time to die as the Wei Wuxian and Wen Ning are on their way to the celebration because of an ambush planned by his cousin, blaming Wei Wuxian for a curse, but it wasn't actually Wei Wuxian's fault. He didn't do it, but no one listened to reason, and Wei Wuxian lost control of Wen Ning, and Wen Ning thrust his hand through the peacock's chest, and he died. Rip. And then, everything goes to shit. People are like, oh, we have to kill Wei Wuxian. We can't leave this as it is, because he just killed one of the sect heirs, and his own Shiji's husband. And then, because of this happening, Wen Ning and Wen Jing go to sacrifice themselves so that the rest of the people in the burial mounds and Wei Wuxian wouldn't get killed for Wen Ning's actions, basically. Their kind of mindset is we're already living on borrowed time. This doesn't work. Tensions still rise even after the one sibling's secondary death. For one of them, even though he doesn't actually die, because we know he's in the future. But Wei Ying thinks they're dead. He rolls up to a big. He goes on like a couple days disassociation binge wander where he's not doing well. Is he ever doing well in this book?
Let's say he was doing well until this point, and then he's not doing. From this point onward, he is not doing well
again. As soon as the peacock dies, nothing goes well in this. It's fine. I think that's part of the reason I had so much trouble reading this, because I was like, I know what's coming, and I know there's not going to be any reprieve. Like, this is just the end. So Wei Wuxian rolls up to all the cultivators meeting up to be like, we gotta kill Wei Wuxian. And he's like, bitch, I'm here. And he kills them instead. Well, he doesn't, but it's important to note he doesn't start the conflict. Some guy shoots him and he throws the arrow back at him, which is
I would say he starts the conflict. He just doesn't start the fight.
Yes. And kills that guy, and then fighting breaks out, and I think this is when Yanli dies. But I can't remember if she dies at this one or the next one. No, I think she dies at this one.
She dies at this one, yeah.
It's important to note that the Zhang sect is there, but they're not. Wei Wuxian's corpses and everything don't attack them. And then Yanli shows up, trying to get Wei Ying's attention, and she ends up getting attacked by a corpse because Wei Wuxian, for some reason, couldn't stop the corpse and the fierce corpse. And then
he was too distracted.
Yeah, and then but she's not dying or anything. She's just injured. And then the brother of the guy who shot Wei Wuxian killed with his own arrow, goes to stab Wei Wuxian, and Yanli jumps in the way and gets a sword through her neck, and she dies. And then Wei Wuxian loses it. And then we kind of leave the flashback after that. Because, so we just kind of get yeeted out of that. We're back in present day. We're in the demon quelling cave, which I think it's so funny seeing different translations of different things, because I've been calling it demon slaughtering cave. But that also might be me being confused with the Zanwu of slaughter. But I thought this was the demon slaughtering cave, but it's demon quelling cave, and it's named that because he named it that because he's viewed as a demon and he goes to sleep here. So it's like he's being quelled. What's a better example than him taking a nap? And I'm like, you are a fucking idiot, and I love you. You don't understand PR. If Wei Wuxian had a PR manager, this whole story would go different. Actually, that's the next transmigration fanfic, is just a random PR manager from modern day gets dropped in and handles Wei Wuxian's.
I got this. We could make you the savior of the Sunshot campaign again.
Let's see. And then so we're back to the confrontation of Wei Wuxian and Han Genjin, so Lama Ji, and then the juniors, and then all of the people who've shown back up again to do another siege of the burial mounds. But they end up getting attacked by fierce corpses, and their spiritual energy isn't working because Sushi, who's a Lama Ji ripoff, it was doing dastardly deeds, and he's been involved in the whole plot so far, secretly as a minion, and he cut off everyone's spiritual energy with a fucked up song. We have another occurrence of those from the last book, which killed our buff anger man who I love. And then they all end up having to work together to not get killed by the fierce corpses. All of the cultivation clans and Wei Wuxian and Lan Wangji. Wei Wuxian and Lan Wangji end up being able to explain that it wasn't their fault. It was Meng Yao, Jinggong Yao. The dastardly deeds are done by the war hero. The incest from book 2 is revealed. Basically, all of his plots are seemingly revealed at this point.
Suspicious timing. I'm just saying. Wei
Yeah.
Wuxian's just saying.
And,
Wei Wuxian,
yeah.
Wei
And
Wuxian
then
and I
everyone's
continue
like,
to be on the
okay.
same wavelength.
Also, there's this scene where when all seems lost when the fierce corpses are attacking, a bunch of corpses come out of the blood pool, which is, just a thing to have in your house, and go and destroy all of the attackers, and they go before Lan Zizhui and look intently at him for no reason. For no reason. It's no reason. And then this whole collection, they go back to Lotus Pier and they're like, we're gonna attack Meng Yao. And then it's kind of everyone just piles on, just like, oh, I never trusted him. He's always been suspicious. Some of his deeds are revealed, like the incest thing is revealed here, and then also the fact that he killed his father, which we're not really sad about because his father sucked. But was kind of it would have been a kind of cool way to kill his father if he didn't kill all of the sex workers immediately after, except the one. And we don't know why he didn't kill the one. I know plot things. Also for chat, you guys can say whatever you want in chat, but Sam will not be seeing it because Sam's reading this all for the first time. Even though I'm technically now reading things for the first time, I've been in fandom so long because I didn't realize I didn't finish the book. Yeah.
That's probably why you thought this one was the last one.
Yeah. Thing. I fully, when I was reading this, I also thought it was the last one. I was like, wait, did I fuck up? No, it does continue in the next one. But I'm like, okay, I did. Then they had a really they had a really long interpersonal relationships for a good, 10% of the ending of the book. And I was like, oh, okay, that's the rest of the book. And then, so it's a big reveals, and then Lan Wangji and Wei Ying go around Lotus Pier, with Wei Ying kind of reflecting or being nostalgic. They have a really cute scene, and then they go and visit the memorial ancestral shrine for the Zhang family. Wei Wuxian asks for luck and approval to marry Lan Zhan. But Jing Cheng shows up and is like, the fuck are you doing here? You got my family killed. All of them. And Wei Wuxian starts to get angry and then passes out. It's because his body's not super great at this, in this body, because it's not his own. And then also because he's been going nonstop for days without proper rest. And he had a lot of emotions. Wen Ning stops the conflict, rolls up, and reveals the Golden Core reveal, which is... Sam, you froze. Are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. Sorry, I'm trying to update the thumbnail while I listen.
No worries. Jing Cheng got his core melted in the previous book years ago. And then Wei Wuxian claimed that his mom's immortal master fixed it, but it's now revealed that Wei Ying gave up his own golden core, and Wen Qing and Wen Ning switched Wei Ying's core, or put Wei Ying's core into JC, and Wei Ying had to be conscious during all of that for a day and 2 nights. And then JC is emotionally stunned by this and goes sprinting off with Wei Ying's sword to go check to see if it's
would like to take this moment to pause and just say, in our previous stream, I said the reason he had to learn the demonic way was because he could not use spiritual power. And I think that in my migraine-induced brain fog, that had been a theory of mine that I just went with was canon.
Yeah, because what you said it, and I was like, was it revealed? And then I was like, no, because when you said it, you thought the entire time he hasn't had spiritual energy.
Yeah, but like, I've been like migraine a lot. I think what I was thinking, because I'm like, well, I was thinking about it both before I started reading this and while I was reading this book, and I'm like, no, because I read that, like, I'm like, I knew that. So I was trying to figure out why I was confused. Then I'm like, oh, I just think I picked up on some things, but because of the brain fog, it wasn't fully connecting.
So when Wei Ying comes back down the mountain after dropping off JC in the last book, he's not feeling well. And he's like clutching his chest. And then he's ambushed and he doesn't fight back or anything. And then we never see him use spiritual energy again. For good reason. And then we have and then we have, so back to what's happening in this book. JC runs off. Then Wenning, it's also revealed that Lan Zizue is Rowan, how do I say it? Baby Lan is the quiet baby Lan, not the loud baby Lan, is Ayan, who was raised by Lan Wangji after Mo Xiang's death. That's his dad! And Wenning's super happy that not everyone in his family is dead. Yeah. And we're all happy the baby's not dead. Wei Ying, Wei Wuxian, nope, that's the same person. Lan Wangji and Wenning. I feel like I need a fucking medal for trying to say all these names and only slipping up with Jiang Cheng and using the nickname. The peacock doesn't count, that's just his name. And they all go off, be like, oh, let's investigate more. They get to a town there that Wei Wuxian found like a clue way back that there were some like land deeds here for a temple, and they're like, okay, this temple has something to do with Meng Yao's plans. They go visit the temple. It's in the middle of the city, which is weird. And then they go to an inn and they get drunk. And then Lan Wangji goes around and commits vandalism, steals some chickens, steals some...
He's reliving Wei Wuxian's youth.
Yeah. And then they go back to the room and Lan Wangji needs to take a bath. And then he wants Wei Wuxian to bathe him, and then Wei Wuxian grabs his penis. And then they make out, and then they break the bath, and then they go to the bed, and then they don't have sex, but they both climax. And then they're making out, and they're both naked, and a mess is everywhere, and then Lan Wangji sobers up and freaks the fuck out. And then Wei Wuxian is consumed by shame and is like apologizing and saying they were both drunk, and leaves, gets up and goes to a different room, and then goes outside and is sad. And that's the end of the fucking book. Wait, no, then Wenning is like, are you okay? And then it's very obvious what happened because his neck's covered in bites. And then Wing is like, let's go stir up some trouble, and that's the end of the book. Yeah, so I'm gonna take that down. Sam, what do you think of this book?
Hold on,
I want to say that I thought I knew everything about this book, even if I hadn't read it. I didn't realize that was I didn't realize they got together. I'd seen a thing for later that's a spoiler that I won't say, but refers to that. And I never understood what it was referring to. And what I thought it was referring to, I was like, oh, that must have happened. By the way, it said, I was wrong. This is definitely what it's referring to, which makes that make more sense. But also, I'm just like, oh my god, I want to die. What is with MXTX and sex? Like, there's the way that sex and Scumvillain, or like, this isn't sex, but it's sexual intimacy. Scumvillain in this, there's such a level of shame, or like, it can't just be like two consensual people having sex because they want to have sex. There has to be, it's to save the world, Binka's dying, and basically it's not a essay, but it hurts a lot with Scumvillain, and then this where it's like, oh, consent is a word that is weird. That is a thing that should happen. And while Sam, cut me off whenever. I'm just gonna keep talking while you finish whatever you're doing. When I was like, ooh, what the fuck? Rowan brought up the fact that shame revolving around sex in a conservative society such as China, like shame being a really big element. And I thought that is very interesting and a good point, and had me thinking about it, but also, oh my god. I just...
Right. So I really enjoyed this book.
Okay.
I stopped enjoying it as much once it got to that scene, but then I appreciated that. So you in Scumvillain, I'm like, this is a fine thing for like adults to read, and as long as we acknowledge that this is not healthy and it is in fact toxic and stuff, then it be what it be. And then earlier in this series we had
The kiss.
Yeah, the kiss, the assault, the molestation.
Yeah.
That was a full-on makeout.
Yeah, that
That
was not consensual at all.
And I want to point out that when that happened, Wei Wuxian, who was the victim, was trying to justify his attacker.
Yes.
He tried to be like, well, maybe she was really shy and
Yeah.
all of that. And this time I appreciate the fact that he acknowledges it and he feels guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And that he himself is taking the, I don't want to say appropriate necessarily, but he's acknowledging what I did was fucked up, and he hasn't admitted it to a funeral boy yet. I don't know if he's gonna fully
Or like
admit to it.
apologize. I think acknowledging
Yeah, or apologize. That's more what and like, now, I'm not one who gets drunk often, but I don't think sobering works quite like that.
Oh no, the whole drunk mechanics for the Lons that's not how alcohol works.
Yeah. So I'm like, but did we need this? Did we need this?
Yeah. I agree. I think that it's part of it, there is the misconception. Wei Wuxian thinks Lan Wangji is easily manipulated in this way, and I think that's not true. I think Lan Wangji he does what he wants in this way. Like, he clearly doesn't do stuff when Wei Wuxian's trying to get him to do stuff. I think he's very much very impulsive in this form. And so I don't think that if he didn't want to, this sounds awful, but this was definitely an assault from Wei Wuxian. Like, it was not okay. Like, the consent was not there. But if he didn't want to, he wouldn't have, because of the magical mechanics of this consent. This sounds terrible, but so I like, from this narrative and this narrative alone, Lan Wangji did want to sleep with Wei Wuxian. And I think Lan Wangji, after this, is thinking that he forced himself on Wei Wuxian because he can't remember and, like, can clearly see the results of what happened. But it's like it's not as bad as it seems, but it's terrible. Like, it's bad, and it doesn't matter what actually happened. Or it does matter, but the intent, the fact that Wei Wuxian, yeah, it's iffy. It's not even iffy. It's just no. It's one of those things where it's like, I wish this didn't happen. I didn't know this happened. I knew that, like, I've seen the fucking AO3 tag that's Wei Wuxian's canonical non-consent kink, but I didn't think that there was, like, I don't know. Yeah, this was me sitting there and going, oh, I didn't like that. Because even in the TV show, there's weird things with consent around drinking, because in Untamed, like the live action, Wei Wuxian uses cultivation to make Lan Wangji drink for the first time when they're, like, teenagers. And then he gets super drunk. They don't do anything sexual or anything because of the censorship, and they're 17 at that point, so even within their narrative, they're not there yet. But I didn't like that, and I don't like that that is a thing. I like Lan Wangji being impulsive, and, like, it's funny when he's drunk, but I don't, and I enjoyed the narration that was Wei Wuxian tempted and then being like, no. Okay. Sam.
I'm here.
Yeah. I enjoyed the narration of Wei Wuxian being tempted.
I was trying to look up MXTX's age, and
this was written 10 years ago. It just hit the 10-year anniversary. And Scum Villain was written when she was in college, so you can look up when the original Scum Villain was posted, and then she'll be in college for that. But I didn't. So I liked him being, like, tempted and then not. And was even thinking of, within my own book, there's a point where my male lead is incapacitated and my main character is having lustful thoughts and then feels terrible about it. But my main character doesn't go and grab anyone's dick. And so I was like, oh, this is like, hey, this is like a good reference. And I was like, no, what are you doing? What are you, no.
All right, so
I also knew that they broke a bathtub at one point because of making out and sex. So as soon as a bathtub came out, I was like, hey, it's funny that they have 2 bathtubs in this series. No, I was wrong. This was the bathtub.
I will say, so as far as alcohol and consent goes, it's a much more prevalent conversation nowadays in America about how it's okay for people not to drink and that you shouldn't trick people into drinking. It was, however, and, like, even when I was a teenager, it was still, like, a thing of, oh, well, if like so and so like doesn't drink, it's like, oh well, we'll just trick our friend to drink.
Yeah, glad that culturally is going away.
And
Isn't gone, but I growing up didn't drink like at all before I turned 21.
yeah, I
And I didn't feel pressure from people like when I went to parties and such to drink, and I was very thankful about that.
hung out with a bunch of nerds and none of them liked alcohol, so
No, there were I was around a shit ton of drinking. I just never really.
yeah, so for me, when I like read anything of that, and I know that it's still that way today in a lot of like Asian cultures, and
Yeah.
like especially in like after work stuff. So that part of it, I'm just like, it's not okay, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I see that culturally that's not an issue in the book.
Well, I do think that Lamaji in this scene did drink like on purpose, like he knew what he was doing, and then
yeah.
And then later, when Wei Ying is like, "Oh, I shouldn't do anything," like he felt safe enough around me to
drink, yeah.
drink, and then this happens, and I'm like, I don't know how this was resolved because the 3-line exchange that I found out that applies to this, I'm like, that can't be it. I need them to talk about it more. I need like a sit down, hold each other's hand. What happened? I need them to hold my hands as they talk about this.
All right, and I did look at, okay, so MXTX has not publicly disclosed her age, so but everyone knows that she wrote Scum Villain when she was in college. Presumably this means that she wrote it in her late teens, early 20s, and then she would have written this one closer to like her early to mid 20s, right? So I think it's really interesting reading Scum Villain and then reading this and seeing how the different scenes are handled. You can tell that like her own perceptions on this have probably like grown and matured. And so I'm like, I am interested to see how like that will continue in more of her works and stuff. I feel such mixed feelings for my boy.
Which boy?
Anlan Zan, who probably thought he probably thought this was his fault.
Yeah, I think they both think it's their fault, and that's like part of the like in the last scene. As I was reading it, I was imagining it from Lama G's perspective.
Yeah, considering how the quote unquote first kiss happened.
Yeah, and the fact
and it
that
doesn't
when he
help
woke
that
up
like
for the
Wei
first
Wuxian
time,
likes to perpetuate that image of, oh yeah, no, I a hoe.
yeah, and well, when he woke up for the first time, like when the first time they slept together, or slept next to each other. Not that when the first time he drank, he like pulled at Wei Wuxian's clothes, and Wei Wuxian jokingly went like, "Oh, you ravished me," or like something along those lines.
Yeah.
And the fact, because that was his first thought, so now waking up and literally seeing their fucking spend all over Wei Wuxian and the bites and like his wrists have the marks on them. That's probably what he thinks right now. And the fact that Wei Wuxian immediately like some of the things he said are shame, blah blah blah. Wow, there's literally a page of him just being guilty. Yeah. Are you sober? Yes. Or and then a page of being guilty, and then you've sobered up. My head's pretty much clear too. Lama Ji goes to help. Wei Wuxian backs away and goes, "No need." Lama Ji freezes. "No need for you to help me. I can do it myself. You don't have to touch me." Which I know Wei Wuxian's being like, "I've already like sullied you. You don't have to touch me." But I'm positive that Lan Zhan takes it was like, please don't touch me or don't touch me.
Yeah, like he's so like disgusted and traumatized.
Yeah, and then Lan Zhan, we both probably had too much to drink. Sorry about that. Which is that Lamaji probably takes that as like making excuses for
yeah,
Lamaji.
because he knows Wei
probably...
Wuxian's personality, and he knows that is kind of funny. Not funny, haha, but like,
funny.
But he knows that Wei Wuxian has a really bad habit of taking on all the blame regardless of who is at fault.
Yeah.
And of excusing the abusive or toxic behavior of people around. He's like, Lan Zhan's kind of pissed at, which is also like Wei Wuxian is misunderstanding where, like, why Lan Zhan is angry at his brother. He's like not angry at his brother for insulting him. He's angry because he just found out that like Wei Wuxian has basically been verbally abused his whole life, and it's just like, it's fine. That's how he is. Just ignore it. But so he's just assuming that like he's like, oh, he's just forgiving me for this and stuff, and oh, but he's so like traumatized by me that he doesn't even want to share a room with me anymore.
Yeah. And then the fact that
but in reality, no, this is actually Wei Wuxian's fault. He should be apologizing, and he is making excuses, but not for Lan Zhan. He's making excuses for himself.
Yeah, but you don't need to feel too embarrassed. It's normal for men to do stuff like this once in a while. Don't take it to heart. And then Lamaji being normal?
It's like,
don't take it to heart? Like, what? And I think he's definitely like from...
It's not gay if your dicks don't touch.
Lan Zhan being like, don't take it to heart, normal, like, stop. You're making excuses for what I did. But he's making excuses. I almost feel like Wei Wuxian saying that is less making excuses for his own actions. He's giving Lan Zhan an excuse for going along with
an out.
actions. Yeah, like, this is why you did it. Like, I know why I did it. I'm a fucked up person and I'm in love with you. You did it because you're a man with urges and you were drunk. And then the fucking proprietress, the innkeeper, coming in, and I'm like, no, girl, get out. Get out. Get out. No. Girl, they need to talk.
But then we wouldn't have one of the most heinous uses of the miscommunication trope.
Yeah. And I knew they had miscommunication within them just because the nature of Lamaji.
It's been building, I will say, like, not in a predictable way, but like it's sort of been
it's a staple of their relationship.
Yes.
I think this was just such a clusterfuck to end the novel. And then we get our good boy, Wen Ning, cleaning up after them.
I love that boy.
He's just the best boy. And like I know some people, I want him to be happy, and some people shipped him with Jiang Chang, and I'm like, get the fuck away from my boy. Because people hate. That's a good transition. We can talk about Jiang Chang. I know there's a lot of hatred for him in the fandom. And then I know there's people that are complete apologists for him. Like, so much recently, there's so much hatred towards him. Recently, when the hardcover special editions were put out, and he was prominently featured on the cover of the volume 3, people literally like freaked out and the cover changed. Like, it was a sonic level of freaking out. And he wasn't even like the main, like, him and Jin Ling were on the cover, and then it was Wei Wuxian in the background, like, as a big figure. So I'm like, no, it makes sense for him to be on the fucking cover of that. Or like maybe it was this book, but people hate him or think he did nothing wrong ever. And I think he's much more complicated than that. But I want to get your opinions on him, because I had a different opinion before I read how he actually responded to things in this book, because I only had impressions of it. Go ahead.
Like you said, I think he's a complicated character. I think he reminds me a lot of his mother, in that I think he wants to love and accept Wei Wuxian, but because of all the circumstances around Wei Wuxian and because of how Wei Wuxian acts, it very often puts him in a difficult position. Yeah. And at some point he's very, I want to say his sister and Wei Wuxian are probably the only solid relationships he's ever had in life, and he essentially loses that with Wei Wuxian when he takes the Wen clan, the remainder of the Wen clan under his wing. Mm-hmm. And I think that is really the breaking point between them. I don't think he's ever forgiven him for that. And everything else just kind of adds on to it.
I think the fake falling out with the Wen clan, like the distance they had to put between each other, makes a divide, so there's no healing from their issues, and it just allows like those wounds to fester. And then Yanli's death, there's the way they both blame Wei Wuxian for that, when it happened because of him, but he didn't kill her.
Yeah. It's sorry, my
no worries.
Boss is messaging me about
no worries
server stuff. See, and well, what I was going to continue to say is I think that it's like, on top of it, there's a there's an added insult to injury, that it's like, you picked the Wens over our family, and then like I told you to just kill them and everything, and then now our sister is dead and our nephew is an orphan because of this, because directly because of Wen Ning, and then indirectly because of the Wen clan issue.
Yeah.
So it's like
yeah. We get, I think it was in book 1 or 2, we get Wei Ying saying that he'll be by JC's side as his right hand man forever. But we see when post the Sunshot campaign, Wei Wuxian doesn't, like, he distances himself because of the lack of his spiritual energy. Like, he doesn't help with anything. Like, he goes off drinking. He also, we can talk about his alcoholism, but he goes off drinking and like shirking his duties, which we see later, like people like Jin Gongshen making comments about how like Wei Wuxian's the only reason the Jiang clan is existing, ignoring all of Jiang Cheng's work. And then, especially when Wei Wuxian's not there, and even with him not being super involved, those rumors still exist, which obviously bother JC. And then he, like, oh, you won't help me and our family and our people out, and yet you go and help these strangers who are related to the people who ruined our lives. And especially with him not him not knowing about the golden cord transfer, he's like, yeah, they got us out and helped me get my parents' ashes, but like, there are people who are living right now, rather than not knowing how much they do truly owe the Wen siblings. And just like him I feel like in his mind, he knows he's not being told everything, but and he has no way of like processing that other than being like, oh, my brother's abandoning me when he said he would be with me forever. And like,
yeah,
with the like kid inside his mind, almost like that's his big brother, and he knows is better than him, who's always been told is better than him. And all of his successes that he's worked so hard for are attributed to his big brother, but now which is like, it sucks, but at least his big brother's with him, and now his big brother's not even there.
yeah.
And then his sister dies. Uh and he just can't anymore. And the tragedy of their family, of those three siblings, every time gets me, because they're all so fucked up, like mentally they're so fucked. And that's, yeah.
Their sister's dying words was just to let her little brother know that she's not mad at him.
Yeah, and that's like,
That
it's
it's
not even like,
okay.
oh, the three of them can have a happy ending because she's dead. Like, there's, no matter what happens between Wei Wuxian and Jing Cheng, it can't be a happy ending for them because their sister's dead. And their parents are
Oh
dead.
no,
But
she
like,
could be turned into a fierce corpse.
I know,
I'm just
I
saying. Why?
know.
You can bring the one. You can bring Wen Ning back, but not your sister.
I'm like,
That's
why
not
didn't
fair,
you
though.
go
She's
like, ah,
probably
shit, the
burned
peacock.
somewhere.
Let's scoop up the peacock and bring his body. He just can be an immortal dad for Jinling.
It's fine. It's fine.
Alternate universe where Wei Wuxian just can't handle people's deaths, so he keeps turning all of his loved ones into fierce corpses. But yeah, so the their tragedy is, but the homophobia, man, the homophobia was like, you can be mad about, like, with the difference in Scumville, and where people are like, ew, Bing Q are together, but they're like, no, we don't want, they hate Bing He and Shin Shin Shu being together because Bing He is Bing He, partly because he's a demon, but mostly just because he's him. And then the homophobia, like, in that, it's like, I feel it's not even homophobia, it's just them, but we don't have other examples of queer people in that book. And then the homophobia in this one, we see, like, it's bad because of Mo Xiang, like, he's looked down upon for being queer, but that also could be the rumor that he was into his half brother. So it's like, oh, is that homophobia or is that incest? And then you see this and you're like, yeah, he could be jealous of Lanjan for having, like, for being close to his brother when he views his brother as abandoning him, and then all this other stuff. But honestly, why you gotta be homophobic about it? Like, you could just be mad that, like, you're the things you're saying, because I was trying to be like, no, he's not homophobic. Ooh, the things you're saying
Regardless of
aren't.
whether or not he's normally homophobic, he was very homophobic. Well, okay. Regardless of whether or not he himself is homophobic or
Yeah.
he's just lashing out because, oh, this person is taking away my brother.
Yeah.
That was still a very homophobic of you,
Yeah.
JJ. So
Yeah.
I get what you're saying though, because it's like, yeah, that is very much, oh, once again, you're picking someone else over me, which
Yeah.
I'm like, you have not been welcoming.
You've
You
never picked your brother. You don't pick your brother. You pick your mom, and
yeah,
that's
you
it.
also,
Honestly.
but like that's kind of what he's used to
Yeah,
up
conditioned to.
until Wei Wuxian chose the Wen clan, is that Wei Wuxian would always like he
Pick
was
him
like a
no matter
loyal
what.
puppy
Yeah.
to replace
Um,
the puppies they had to get rid of.
and it's just like so fucking tragic. And then along that same line with the Jang clan, Wei Wuxian thinking like, oh, she never did anything bad to me. Bitch, what? Like, stop erasing. I literally took a screenshot and texted Rowan. And I'm like, am I misremembering? And Rowan's like, no. Like him literally, I'm looking up for the screenshot right now of him going, yeah, she ordered me to march the ancestral hall and kneel over every little thing. Ha ha ha. This is what he's saying. And then, but other than that, Madame Yu had never genuinely done anything to harm him. And I'm like, that's just not true. You are such an unreliable narrator. Like, his memory issues and ignoring bad things that happened to him is a canonical thing. But just seeing it and being like, wow,
memory issues, his trauma.
Yeah, his memory issues because of his trauma.
Yeah, no, I know that's what you meant. I just wanted to.
And so like having that happen, me just sitting there like, she literally like on page whipped you. Like it's not even like a flashback or something mentioned. We saw it happen. So I just I know the discussion we had last time where it was like we discussed the parenting and everything. But then in this book, him being like, they were good to me, and I'm like, no, they fucking weren't. Don't ask for their permission. They're probably fucking homophobic too. Yeah, I think only Shiji would approve. Because she
in a wild twist, Madame Yu supports his gay relationship because it means there will be no successor from him.
Also, he would probably marry out of the clan and into the line.
Yeah, she's like, oh no, I love.
If it gets rid of you, sure. Yeah.
Weirdly, his biggest supporter.
Yeah, weirdly, okay, if we can marry you off and get a good connection for our clan and we don't have to deal with you anymore, bye. But yeah, so those are some of the feelings I had. Check on chat.
Wildly different note. I appreciate the fact that we have had the little one as a big one the entire time. Well, not the entire time, but for a while now. And then it's revealed after where the little one is mentioned, and then
yeah,
we get why. I will say, she tried to fake me out with because the Wen clan that came out of the blood pool, and they were saying there was one smaller. But then the way Wen Ning reacted when he saw, I was like, "Oh, is the little one a girl?"
The smaller one was the granny, being hunched over.
Yeah, but I'm saying like because of the way it's phrased, it could have been.
I feel like when I read it for the first time, the way it was formatted or something, there was more time in between meeting Ayun and Wen Ning's reaction, because one of my like most visceral memories of reading it for the first time was sending Snapchats to Rowan crying and being like,
were you reading it as it was coming out?
No.
Okay.
Being like, tell me the kid survives. Like, please, the kid has to be alive. And then I felt so big brain for being like, I bet he's Zisui. Like, I felt so like, yeah, I figured it out. Like, before the flashbacks ended. Because I was just like, he has to be alive. Let me think of all the children we've met. It's not Jinling. We know what Jinling was as a baby. Let's see. I was like, okay, interacting with Hung and Jun. Okay, so it's either Jin Ying, or Lan Jingyi or Shizue. And I'm like, okay, it has to be one of these. I think, because I was like, I will not accept a reality in which this child is dead.
Big brain energy or big denial energy?
Yeah, it's worked out really well for me so far. Actually, with denying character deaths. Other than when it doesn't. But
I'm watching Yu Yu Hakusho with Roxy, and she's at the part we're at the part in the chapter Black Saga where Yusuke is about to die. But it was funny because at the beginning of that episode, she's like, "Does Yu Yu Hakusho have a happy ending?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "What kind of things happen? Like, what are the characters' endings and stuff?" And so I started telling her about a couple things, and she's like, "So Yusuke is happy with Keiko, all right?" And then he's like, they're all like, "No, he's gonna die." And she looks at me, and she's like, "You told me he'd be happy." I'm like, "I didn't say he wouldn't die.
Oh
He's
my God.
already died before." And she's like, "That's a good point." But like she's still very emotional about we're at the episode right before he dies. And I feel like because she knows he's gonna die next episode, she's gonna make me pull her teeth to get her to watch it.
Yeah, I can't relate to that at all. Yeah, so Ion being alive, I'm obviously very happy. I love that they're like, yeah, Hung and Jin went and found him and brought him back and basically raised him. And then when Ning is talking to Ion, is him being like just consistently talking about Lamaji. I have had to work so hard through every stream to not call Lanyon Ion.
Ayun.
Yeah, because I struggle so much with his courtesy name. She's she's right. So I'm like, I have literally so many times just tried to be like, fuck it, I'm gonna call, and I'm like, no, I can't, because you don't even know who I would be talking about. It wouldn't even be a reveal; it'd just be like, what are you saying?
Who the fuck?
Yeah. And so, I'm very happy that cute little reveal, and the fact that that's their son, and no one can take that away from me. But him getting a fever and forgetting his childhood, the time with the Wen clan and uh, weighing is very sad. Yeah. Uh, let's see. You want to talk
I
about
don't know
alcoholism?
how common that is in life, but it is very common in fiction.
Yeah.
I got sick. I don't remember my life before that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've had migraines that make me feel like that. My head hurt. I don't remember my life before today.
Want to talk about alcoholism?
Yes.
I weighing drinks
A lot.
a lot throughout his whole life that we see. Like even at 15, he brags about being a heavy drinker. And then it gets bad after the Sunshot campaign. And I think he's definitely self-medicating depression. And then I think with living with the Wen clan, I think his mental health does get better in a fucked up kind of way. Like, even though living off radishes and in a literal cave. The fact
I
that
wouldn't say it's in a fucked up kind of way, even though like I think that's part of showing it is that like while they're living fucked up, he's in a way happier and more at
yes,
peace
yes. I mean, a fucked up
there.
way is like his from the outside life is getting worse. Like more things, there's more conflict within the story, and yet this is better for him mentally. Even
Yes.
though in the end it doesn't be good.
Which is
Um,
why he went on a mass murdering spree.
yeah. And then when like even because he has the Wens, and then especially Wen Chang taking care of him, or at least attempting to. someone that won't take no for an answer. I feel like Yanli is too far away, and then JC is too focused on the clan and other stuff.
I think
And
they
he's never
both
really
take
been a
for
caretaker.
granted that he'll take care of them.
Yeah.
And I know their older sister, she like tries and stuff, but at the same time, like you said, there's still a distance there.
Mm-hmm.
And also like he puts her on a pedestal.
He does. And I think that, and she doesn't want to like overstep.
Disappoint him. Yeah.
And yeah, overstep as well, like disappoint and overstep. I think that's can trace back to Madame Yu. But Wenting is like, bitch, stop. I'm gonna fucking like Wenting making decisions and not like asking permission first, and like harassing him about the drinking and everything, and having a community with like Uncle Four. I know he's called something different in this, but he's called Uncle Four and everything. He's called the actual word for Uncle Four, which is like Sue something. But not Sushi, that's a bad guy. Why does Fairy have an entry but not but Uncle Four is the guy that makes the fruit wine within the Wen clan. And so having like we show that he's having these growing interpersonal relationships. And then they all fucking die. But
he loses his entire family clan twice. Well, actually, we could kind of say he loses his family 3 times.
Yeah.
Because he remembers enough about both of his parents that he carries that loss very heavily.
Yeah.
And to the point where like he gets offended whenever somebody is like, yeah, no, that's your dad. And he's like, no, I have a dad. He's dead, but I have one.
Yeah. It also like raises my hackles every time someone calls him the son of a servant. I'm like, his mom was a like disciple of an immortal on a mountain, like,
right? Like, come on.
Also, he was the head disciple, like a servant that became a head disciple. Not Wei Ying, but Wei Ying's dad. And I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, he wasn't nobility, but like, bitch. And then with his alcoholism, after Wenning and Wenqing's death, he leaves the burial mounds, which I'm like, I wonder what the Wens were like feeling when they lost 2 of their family members, and then Wei Wuxian just wandered off, like into the woods. Like
honestly, most of them probably understood.
Yeah,
because like this is not their first slaughter.
Yeah, probably someone thought he was gonna go kill himself though.
Yeah.
Just from his general.
They probably thought he was either going to go end it or, well, they probably thought he was going to go end it one way or the other.
Yeah. So. And then him literally being in like a stupor for days. And then we don't really get to know what else, but I do think he spent his final days in a mental health crisis and also super drunk, like super out of it for a wide variety of reasons. And then we no longer get to follow him post Shiji's death. So, but I'm like, I can't imagine.
Arguably, he wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, I think his soul died.
That's why we don't get his point of view.
Yeah. I do think that the numerous times Mo Xiang passes out and we switch to someone else's point of view or like an impartial point of view for like the golden core reveal, I'm like, it felt a little impersonal, like just because we get so much when we're in Wei Wuxian's point of view, and then during the golden core reveal, it's just people talking, and I'm like, and like the react. It was very much like third person, not even third person omniscient, but like. I was like, wait, no, what are the, I don't know. And the fact that Wei Wuxian doesn't know that everyone knows about the Golden Core transfer now. But yeah, so that
I like that Wen Ning was the one to tell.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't Wen Ning's place, but someone had to fucking tell. It's not his secret to tell, but I'm glad he did it. Like, Wei Ying being upset about it is super justified. Like, if he is going to be upset about it, which I can't imagine him not being.
I'm going to be controversial and say that I think it was his place to put Jin Chang in his place for that.
Okay.
They are essentially both filling little brother roles.
Mm-hmm.
And their big brother made a huge sacrifice that Jin Chang is just not, like, he doesn't appreciate and stuff. And it's basically like, you think he abandoned you, but this is how much he fucking loves you. And you need to accept it. And like, family's complicated.
Yeah.
And this is something that Wei Wuxian would have never ever told Jin Chang, but that Jin Chang needed to know.
Yeah.
And as Wen Ning was there, he was the one who was there. Like, yes, he should apologize to Wei Wuxian for telling him, but like, sometimes you just gotta apologize instead of ask for permission.
I do think it was the right thing to do, but part of it, I'm like worried about Wei Ying doesn't trust very many people, and this. Actually, I don't think it would shake his trust in Wen Ning. I think he's too.
Wei Wuxian would forgive Wen Ning, and he'll even understand. He won't be happy about it, but he will understand.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully. I also didn't think.
And it's one of those moments where, you know, in another story or something, it would be like, I know, like, even if you hate me for this, I'm going to do this for you.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'd be like that.
I'm looking forward to seeing Jiang Cheng's the aftermath of it. Because like right now we have emotions and then a runaway. And I'm like, I want him to face his brother. And fucking apologize, honestly. Or like give us a kernel of some reconstruction in the future.
I'm really interested in seeing how they're going to handle this, and if it's going to come out that Lanzan was the one who kissed him in the woods. And I really hope it's not oh, you assaulted me, I assaulted you, we're even. I really hope that's not how it resolves.
It's not. I don't think it will be.
Like I don't think it's not giving the vibe of being that flippant with it. I just am so used to media not handling things.
Yeah,
it's a little fear, but only a little one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you have any predictions? Any suspicions?
Head shaker. Still highly sus of that motherfucker. I actually, because I like listened to this one part and I was like, wait. I have to make sure I'm not confusing, because like we've already had a reveal that one guy of the Sioux clan, right?
Yeah.
And part of me, like, when I after I'd finished the book and stuff, I was like, wait, Headshaker wasn't already revealed to have been that one. I'm like, no, that was a completely different character. Yeah. That was a completely different clan. So I'm like, I still don't trust Headshaker. I can't explain to you why, other than I don't believe he's that useless.
I mean, he's very active in the conversation that cleared Wei Ying's name, with asking questions and such.
Yeah, I'm just saying that motherfucker is sus. I don't trust him.
An icon though. It's so, I thought it was hilarious when everyone's like, trying so hard not to die and like fighting to the last man for versus the fierce corpses, and he's like, "Oh, is it done?" And I'm like,
See, but that on its own is like, how is he untouched?
it did
You
mention
gotta
that
be
he
good to dodge
specifically
that.
has bodyguards, which is funny for a clan leader to have bodyguards. They're supposed to be like the best.
I desperately want it to be revealed that he is the trope crouching dumbass hidden tiger. I want it to be I do think, and I am given more satisfaction that our current big bad is in fact not our actual big bad in the capacity that they thought, because hold on, my child has texted me.
Okay. Do you mean Meng Yao?
The
guy that committed incest?
I'm telling him I'll be on my way in 10, so we can wrap up.
Yeah.
But yeah, their bus is late, so I'm gonna have to go pick them up.
The big bad, you mean Meng Yao?
Mr. I willingly slept with my half sister.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, I'm pleased that I'm getting evidence that he's not the ultimate big bad, or someone has double crossed him, or someone has outsmarted him, because it's awfully suspicious how all these witnesses and all these rumors about him have come to light at this precise moment.
Yeah.
Like I said, Wei and I, we were on, because he also pointed this out.
Yeah.
I love that Wei, he always notices the mob mentality and is like,
yeah, I like that he's like, is this how they all decided to murder me? Like they met
like,
up.
is this what? He's like, you all suck.
I love the continuing emphasis on the horrors of mob mentality, and how that's not like brushed off now. That's even in our favor. Like, yeah, we're against the bad guy now. Like, we're part of the mob, or we're providing the mob evidence. It's still not like, oh no, it's a good thing. No, it's like, no, this is still terrifying. So
yeah,
that's nice to see.
Especially if they turn out to be wrong again. I mean, they're not wrong in that this man has done atrocious things and needs to be held accountable, but like wrong as to who's behind everything. And there does have to be another person, because someone was using the Yin Tiger Tally.
When?
The Yin Tiger Tally.
Yeah, the Yin Tiger Tally. When are you talking about when someone was using
it? In the burial mounds, when they were all being attacked, and
yes,
that someone was using the Yin Tiger Tally to control the things, and everyone was like, "It is you, Wei Wuxian," and Wei Wuxian's like, "No, motherfucker,
bitch, I'm right. Not. I'm not playing my fucking flute.
I'm not telepathic. That is in fact an issue."
Yes, repeatedly. Cool. All right, that is the end of my notes. Anything else you would like to say?
Not that I can think of. I think through your notes we have discussed everything I wanted to.
Cool. I really want their interpersonal relationship to not be built on assault.
I really wanted Lanzan to lean down and whisper, "I'm not drunk." That's what I wanted. Like, I still would have been upset with Wei Wuxian, but I would have been more at peace with the situation.
Yeah. And it's like, and it's not even like, oh, he could have become sober in the midst of it. Like, no, we very much
no room for doubt is left.
Yeah, like he fully doesn't know what happened. I mean, like he can deduct, but he's deducting wrong.
It's not even like one of those like dubious consent things. Like, no,
it's just not good, guys. This is not good. It's one of those things where I'm like, this, I can only continue shipping them because they're fictional. Like, if this was a real world. Obviously, you shouldn't ship real people, but like, you know, support a relationship. Where it's like, this would not be okay if it was real, but it's not. And that makes it also still not okay. But I'm gonna keep reading. Awesome. All right. Join us in like an hour for Whip Wednesday, where we get some stuff done. And then on our own books, where there's not sexual assault between the main couple.
I wanted to make a bad joke, but I will not.
No, make it.
You're gonna be like, where there's not sexual assault, and I'm like, you don't know what I read.
That's why I was like, between the main couple. I can guarantee that, I think. And then our next book talk will be on the 22nd, and we will be doing. We don't have the next page, but what will we be doing?
Oh, no. Hold on.
That's still this.
Yeah, give me a sec. I couldn't replace it while we were live. Here we go. Oh my gosh, my internet.
Where
I might need you to replace it. There it is.
We'll be doing The Raven Boys.
The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater.
Yes.
Which I highly, I cannot recommend the audiobook for this one enough. Will Patton is amazing. Matt and I actually, I got him to buddy read this series with me, and Will Patton has ruined many an audiobook narrator for
Wow.
But this book is so great.
That is very impressive. My dad and I now share library cards, so I just see all of his stuff. So I went to check on my loan for this. And it's just so many military fiction books about men on boats.
About men on boats.
Yeah, he really likes the men on boats. On that note, we will see you guys in an hour if you want to come hang out with us. And if you don't, shame on you. And I didn't think we were friends anyways. Bye!